Right. Hey, so the other day I sat and listened to Lisa Collins from Charlestown read Where the Wild Things Are, and it did my soul good. Like I felt like it was like therapy. It was like going to Fenway Park and eating an ice cream cone and sitting with friends all in one in this sort of reality. And so it made me think like, man, I would love to hear from the people in our community who are kind of the emotional backbone of our neighborhood, people who love our neighborhood, and thought of several people. And one of them is my friend Tom Coots, who is, what's your exact title at the cooperative bank?
I am whatever you need me to be.
That's right.
I'm assistant vice president of retail, but I work as the branch manager.
Nice. And so Tom, if you don't know Tom, he has been here in Charlestown so long that I think people have kind of adopted him as like an honorary townie. Like he loves this neighborhood as much as anyone, is as active as much as anyone. And so I'm super honored that you would jump in with me and we could talk through a couple of these questions. So with that said, what's the best thing in the middle of COVID-19 that you've seen from the people of Charlestown so far?
Well, for a long time, I have known this. It's no secret. But the people of Charlestown are very caring. And even during the coronavirus, the COVID-19, all of this social distancing, people are still caring. One of the things that I'm really excited about is that we are a drop-off destination for the Harvest on Vine food pantry. And people are still standing in that line because we're only letting one person at a time, but they're still standing in that line to drop off groceries. And I called Tom McDonald up twice last week and said, you got to come down. I said, we've got a room full of groceries.
Oh, that's
and
awesome.
people are still doing it. And I've had people drop off lunches for us at the bank. People don't realize that, we're not first line responders, but we are essential personnel. We're there every day. And if I'm not in the branch, I'm home on my laptop working and communicating with people. But I've had people come and drop off, coffee and donuts and pizzas. So it's really nice to see that the people are thinking of others during this time. No one is like what you see on the nightly news. No one is fighting over toilet paper, but people are coming out and they're giving to other people in the community.
Yeah, it's amazing. I think a journalism principle is if it bleeds, it leads. So if you watch the news, like you only can hear the negative for the most part. But
Oh
when you're
yeah,
actually boots on the ground, living in a place, you see how good the neighbors in this community are and how much everybody kind of rallies around one another.
right. Yeah.
What's a word of encouragement to the community? I know that I think we're cresting on COVID-19, but as we crest, there's kind of an inverse kind of we need to hear words of hope and the return to normal and all that stuff. What's one word of encouragement you would give to people in Charlestown?
Well, one of the things that is I like to slide in little Bible passages every so often, and one of the things that my grandmother always told me was that in the Bible, this too shall pass in many forms has been in there. Though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, or it has come to pass. This isn't going to stay. The social distancing, we may have life in a new normal, but it will change. It will get better. And especially in Charlestown, where the people are so caring and so concerned about others. I'm also on the board of the Charlestown Historical Society, and who would think that a historical society would get involved with making masks for some of the elderly who couldn't get out and get some. And I know people like Doug McDonald has been driving Ocean State job lots crazy because they were giving away free material for a long time. But the people of Charlestown have had a history, and they will continue to have a history of looking out for their neighbor. One of the things I remember Lisa Collins saying to me is that when she was a young girl, if she was on a street where she knew she wasn't supposed to be, somebody would yell out the window, Lisa, if you don't go home, I'm going to call your parents. And, people in Charlestown, they're looking out for other individuals. I don't know if anyone's saying that to Lisa now, you're on the wrong street, but back then she said to me that back in the 70s, they told her, past your time out, go back to your own street. But the people of Charleston, they're just so caring.
Yeah,
So this too shall pass, and it will get back. I've had a lot of people say, what are we going to do about the Bunker Hill Day Parade? There'll be other parades, and we'll celebrate in our own way. By then, everyone might be able to celebrate in their backyard. And I've had a couple of guys from the militia who have said, hey, I have no problem walking up and down a few streets dressed in my militia outfit. So you never know what'll happen. Charlestown is very, very creative when it comes to riding things out.
I love that. And resilient and
Yeah.
all of those
Oh,
things.
yeah.
One thing that we love, our family's lived here going on 4 years, and the church has been around almost, going on 3 years. And I love that this is not a neighborhood, it's a community. There are plenty
Oh,
of
yeah.
neighborhoods, but community is a little bit different. And you see that right now for sure. What's the,
Absolutely.
what's the first thing you're going to do when this is over?
First thing I'm going to do when it's over, I'm going to hit every single restaurant in Charlestown and sit down and have an actual meal.
Right.
I'm tired. I'm tired of eating off of paper plates and styrofoam plates and plastic silverware. I want to sit at, go out and grab a nice meal with my wife, and maybe hit every single restaurant in town.
Warren Tavern, what's going to be your first meal there? What are you going to order?
It's going to start off with some nice clam chowder. I know that, and probably the fish and chips. They've got some great fish and chips.
Yeah, I feel like when we all go back for that first meal, we're going to restore the economy just on our bill because we're going to want to do samples of everything we've been missing out on.
Exactly. And then I'm going to head over to the monument and get a smash burger. I've got it all set. I'm going over to Zoomies and I'm going to get a chicken salad sandwich. So I'm going to hit them all.
That's awesome. Finally, last question. Who else should we interview for this? Is there anybody else you think, man, we need to hear, our community needs to hear from that person?
Well, one of the people I think it'd be great to interview, it would also be hysterical, would be Doug McDonald. Only I think Doug still has a rotary flip phone. So, we may have to have him write down his answers and submit them by carrier pigeon. But Doug is great because Doug's one of those guys that gets involved in everything in the community, but doesn't announce that he's involved in it. And, a lot of times we'll talk about things and he'll say, yeah, I was involved in that. Oh, I did that. And, so I think Doug's another one that would be great to interview because he's been out during this time. He's got a construction business and they've been shut down, but he's been out serving the community. I know he's been getting groceries for some of the people who are shut in and been doing mass delivery. So, yeah, let's get in touch with Doug.
That's awesome. And anything else you want to add? Anything you want to say kind of in wrapping up?
Charlestown, you have for the last over 300 years, you've been strong, continue to stay strong, not just Boston strong, but Charlestown strong.
That's right. 392 years and counting. Our best
and counting.
Still ahead.
Yep. So,
hey, thank you so much, Tom. God bless you.
Jay.
Stay well, my friend.
Take care, brother.